Well, hello everybody. I have to do an impromptu live stream to bring you some breaking news right now. Breaking? What are we breaking? All-time highs is what we're breaking. Right now, Bitcoin is $11,200 and trading back and forth above it. A moment ago, we saw a high of $11,441. Meanwhile, Dash has absolutely gone mental. Look at that. Let's do full screen charting right now. Look at that. That was at a $766 Dash right there. Absolutely unbelievable. We can't do full screen because I can't even see my sidebar. EOS, $3.20. Big old gain, busting up the 50% Fibonacci retracement level there. Ethereum has bust $500, 503. LiteCoin has bust $100 at 102. Pretty much all-time high there, bust the previous high of, what was that, $93. Monero also going a bit mental there, $200 Monero. What on earth is happening here? As ever, if we check CoinMarketCap and look at the Dash trading volume, we can see Korea has 36% of the trading volume, and a Dash in Korea is $822.99. Can you believe that? Going to Bitcoin, nearly, what's that, $10 billion? Actually, most of it's in US dollars, followed by Korea again. About 8% on Bitsum right now of the total trading volume in the last 24 hours anyway. But it's the charts that kind of blew my mind. I was just sat there looking at the Bitcoin price moving up, and I was thinking, well, should I sell one? Should I sell one? Should I sell one? And I'm like, no. And then I kept watching it going up and up and up. I mean, I only put out that video earlier on this morning, right, about the potential pullbacks. But then this is a big candle, right? And I was actually analyzing my own response to this. I'm like, why aren't I selling some Bitcoin, right? You look at that candle and you go, that's a seller right there. And the truth is like the reason I'm not selling any Bitcoin is because I don't want to miss out on further gains. Now, that means it's greed, right? That must be greed. That's the definition of greed, right? Wanting to gain more. However, I was just speaking to a friend of mine, and she's like, what are you going to do with the money? If you pull it out, turn it back into pounds, say, then what, right? Well, I'll be like, well, then I'd put it back in when it dipped, if it dipped. And of course, the fear is if you sell and it carries on going up, then you miss out on those gains, right? So anyway, yeah, if you put greed to the side, then what would you do with the money? Well, nothing. I don't need the money right now, right? I'm not going to pull the profits out and do anything with it, pay off any debt. I don't really have any debt, right? I have a small debt, my student loan, but that's going to pay itself off with fiat currency in due course anyway. I'm not selling my Bitcoin for that, right? So there we go. Same with the old Dash. Just absolutely phenomenal gains here. That's just, look at the overextension there. That's just so overextended. And I've got some Dash. So I thought it was huge when we got back here to $500. I mean, look, this is ridiculous. Look at the beginning of November down here. The beginning of November, Dash was a $275 coin. That's tripled nearly. So if you called it 250, then triple that would be 750, wouldn't it? Right up there. It's just an absolutely phenomenal gain. You can measure this position thing. So if we went from there to there, that's 170% gain. And then you could measure it like this. Oh, actually I've done that wrong. If we delete the, there we go, get off. Let's measure it this way. Measuring tool from there to there. That's a 173% gain in 32 days. Unbelievable, isn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. Hello, people in the chat, and hello, all you live streamers. Why is the chat white? It should be black. I put it on night mode. Let's see. Oh, that's working now. Let's see. I was only tuning in to Omar's live stream last night. Well, it was about 10 p.m. in the UK. And why is that not showing? Is it showing? That's because I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was on Omar's live stream last night. Watching it, rather, not on it. It was about 10 p.m. for me. But I don't know what time it was for him. It must have been, what is it, like 8 or 9 hours behind. So that would have been maybe 6 p.m. for him or something. Hello, Pavel. How are you? How's everyone else doing? Someone said, Pavel says, I just looked up on Google Trends, gold compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a massive all-time high in Google searches. Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. That's the thing, people discovering Bitcoin. I reckon there's probably tons of news stories today coming out about Bitcoin. If we stick Bitcoin and we hit news on Google, what we got? Let's change this to recent. Oh, it is on recent. So what we got? Bitcoin too small to threaten the world economy, says the Bank of England. The Guardian says Bitcoin has broken the $10,000 barrier, and this run can go further. That's the kind of thing that will cause the masses to invest irrationally. If the Guardian says so, right, that is what people want to hear, and this can go further. That's all someone needs to hear. Someone who is uneducated and very much into not taking personal responsibility. If an authority like the Guardian says just that is enough, right? Trust me, that's what I believe. That line is enough to get uneducated amateur investors to pile into Bitcoin, even at these ridiculously high levels. So that was an interesting discovery. It's been the greatest money-making... Check this out. It has been the greatest money-making opportunity of our lifetime. So when will the biggest bubble in human history burst? See, that's an assumption. You're assuming it's the biggest bubble in human history. And because the Guardian is a position of authority, you automatically, or you, the average amateur, uneducated reader, just takes it as truth, right? Far beyond the outlandish prognostications would have ever thought possible. As I write this, Bitcoin is closing in on $11,000. Yada, 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 yada. A $100 bet in July of 2010 is now worth $16 million. Oh, can you believe that? And then, of course, on we go. Overhyped fad that will end in the same grave. What the hell does this say? Bitcoin's keenest advocates will say it is the digital gold standard on which money systems of the future will rest. Its sternest critics declare it's an overhyped fad that will end in the same grave as Charles Ponzi. Okay, that's okay then. At least they give it both sides of the argument. I mean, that's what a journalist should do, right? They should give you point from one side and point from the other. Even then, I suppose Bitcoin is still up for debate as to whether it's not guaranteed that it will become, the world currency or whatever. So it's fair to kind of still be objective about that, I assume. That's what people don't get. Bitcoin is a tech. Those who use it love it. Those who don't dismiss it. Kind of interesting. It's like parents not going on Snapchat. True. Anyway, that's interesting from The Guardian. What else we got here? Financial Times. Bitcoin breaks through 10,000 as appeal grows. Bitcoin, what's behind the gold rush? An in-depth report from the BBC. Bitcoin and the fear of missing out. Opinion piece from Bloomberg. CNBC. Once sketchy becomes more mainstream. By what measure? Just because because the mainstream media is reporting on it, does that make it mainstream? No. Financial advisors are feeling more questions from clients about Bitcoin. Get off. That's an advert, sorry. No. Shut up. Put an ad playing there. Yeah, people in the chat, you're probably going, use the Brave browser, use the Brave browser, aren't you? The IRS classifies cryptocurrency as property and not currency, and it taxes it accordingly. And exchanges such as Coinbase and companies such as BitGo now specialize in helping Bitcoin owners secure and manage otherwise unregulated accounts. Alrighty then. I'm not sure I would want to read a CNBC article myself, but it's interesting to see what their viewers are being told. What do you lot think? Crypto is also very honest. Chris was also there in the live stream as well. Yes, I was in the live stream. It's not bubble because we control it. Huh. Good point of view. It does not control it. Fat guys on big banks. Oh yeah, fat cats. Oh, Best Boy 812 says, listen to your show on Omega Man Radio. Love to have you back on. Hello from Texas. Yeah, that was a long show, wasn't it, on the Omega Man Radio? We were going for, what, an hour, 2 hours? I can't remember. What do I think about Nice Hash? I used it the other day. I used it the other day to test I run a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070, just a regular 1070, not Ti. I bought it a little while ago. And I ran it through Nice Hash. I benchmarked it. I ran it for 24 hours and I made $1.50, I think it was. Unfortunately, with residential electricity rates in the UK, that's not really going to work, right? I think I'd probably just about break even on, what was it, about $1.50 for 24 hours. It's like 13 pence per kilowatt hour. So 24 of those, it's not really going to work. So, and I wasn't really doing it seriously. I was just messing about. I do tons of different little side experiments like that. And only a fraction of them make it onto the show, right? Someone says, in Legend Nano S, should we hold Bitcoin in Legacy or SegWit? It depends on what you're doing. If you are cloud mining, for example, and getting a lot of withdrawals, like lots of small withdrawals, have them go to a SegWit address, because then when you come to send those funds out again, the transaction will be a lot smaller and a lot cheaper. Or if you're against SegWit principally, then keep it in a legacy address. That's the good thing about SegWit, right? It's a soft fork, so it allows you to choose whether you want to be SegWit or not SegWit. But anyway, let's get back to the charts for a minute. Dash has come back off of its high there. What was the high? $766. But it's still holding up there. I mean, it's only happened in the last few minutes, but oh, geez Louise, look at this. The question is of how long it's going to stop there. Let's go to the hour chart, see if this is any better. Sticking reasonably close to its 50 period moving average here. There's looking like a shooting star pattern forming here. Could be shooting star. There we go, there's some reversal signals. See the RSI's overbought. So this is where it happened. It only happened in the last, well, since about 8 o'clock this morning. This is the 1 hour chart, isn't it? Yes, it is. So 8 o'clock there, 9 o'clock, 10. And then it really got some momentum. That is a massive momentum move right there. The range of the candle increases sequentially until between 12 and 1. Boom. Absolutely bust 700 and then it was away. Almost went 770. I'm feeling a lot calmer about it now. I don't think I'm going to sell anything. Oh, look at Ethereum coming off of its $500 high. It was $518. It's pulled back under it again. Let's have a look at that under the on the daily chart. If we were to draw a horizontal line here and change the settings to exactly $500 and then lock that. Yep. See that head right above it? What's the blue bit? Have I got my Fibonacci extensions on? Yeah, I must have. I didn't really plan anything to talk about. I just wanted to take a look at this live and see who turned up. Medic says, not sure if you got my tweet. But I don't know. I don't keep Twitter open all the time. What is that? Dash is really the cash cow of crypto. Who was wearing a t-shirt like that? Was Omar? Was Omar wearing a t-shirt like that? Dash is the cash cow of crypto. I thought that was bold because I thought, oh my god, whenever I say something positively about Dash, I get my ass kicked in the comments. So when I saw him wearing that t-shirt, I thought, oh snap. What's my take on Bitcoin Z and Bitcoin Gold and so on? Well, what's the other one? Lightning Bitcoin. Heard about that? I have to put that in the news pool to kind of investigate, but There's this thing called Lightning Bitcoin, and it's going to be delegated proof of stake, and oh my god, it's just fatiguing to say the least, right? Even for me. And sometimes I just don't even want to look at it, right? All the new Bitcoin variants. What's the one? Super Bitcoin. There's another one. I'm like, oh my god, I can't take it. I just can't take it. There's so much. There's already so much to put your attention on that a load of extra Bitcoins could do without it. Could do without it. Do I think the constant forking of Bitcoin could lead to its demise? I don't know. I don't think so. The trouble is the infrastructure that matters. It's the exchanges, the wallets, the service providers. If they ignore these forks of Bitcoin, then BTC will be okay, right? However, they kind of get blackmailed into it because their users are like, oi, you give us our free Bitcoin Gold, or oi, you give us our free Bitcoin Z, or whatever the fork is. And if you don't, we're going to class action sue you. And then the company's like, what the hell? And we're kind of stuck now, right? So that in some way legitimizes the forks, right? So that's the only reason why I think the fragmenting of Bitcoin is a bad thing. What do I mean by another moon? Did I put another moon? Oops. I meant others. I put the Cryptoverse live, Bitcoin, LiteCoin, Dash, and others moon was what I meant. Others, as in other coins. And when I say others, I mean, so there's Bitcoin. Get over there. Dash. EOS is doing a bit of a moon. Ethereum. Oh look, it's back above $500. LiteCoin, and then Monero. That's another moon. That's an other. Who else we got? Decred. Ooh, unfortunately, I bought some Decred the other day. Well, like last week. And I was doing well here, but now it's pulling back a bit. It's still under its moving averages. Humanique, I bought some of those ages ago in the ICO. I bought some Lisk way back here when it was a rumor of a rebrand. Turns out it was a massive disappointment because the rebrand isn't happening till February. Boom, down it goes. So good job I only bought a small amount of that. Steam, I just earn Steam. I don't really trade it. Peer Plays, I'm still holding those. 0x, I've got a few of those. Now, bear in mind, right? When you see the price go down, it's a corollary, is it? Corollary. I can't even say the word. Because Ether is the base currency and 0x is the trade pair, if Ethereum goes up massively, it automatically pushes down 0x on this price because it's relative, isn't it? So it doesn't necessarily mean 0x is getting less valuable. It's just in relation to Ether. You know what I'm saying? And what's the other one? The old quant stamp, which is it went up quite a bit soon after it went on the exchanges, but now it's slipped a bit. But again, in relation to Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin keeps going up, anything that trades against it, it'll show the charts going down by comparison. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by others moon. H shares. Okay, we dealt with that. Another moon. There is no moon. There is no spoon, that is. There is a moon. There is no spoon. Difference. I was watching Data Dash's latest video today, actually, this morning. And he was giving his outlook on the whole Bitcoin situation. And he said he'd sold some Bitcoin. So he was keeping his long-term holds, but he'd sold a little bit around 10,000. So I thought, okay, take that into account. I mean, you should never listen to any YouTubers for financial advice anyway, but get everyone's opinion and then you might have some new awarenesses of your own, right? Based on technical analysis, when do you expect a reversal? Honestly, no amount of technical analysis will tell you that, because we're all-time highs. There's no historical price data upon which to base it on. All you could say is pretty much what I said this morning in today's episode of the Cryptoverse. If it did pull back, and again, RSI suggesting that it's way overbought, if it did pull back, where might it pull back to? Because it's all probabilities, right? There are no certainties. You have to trade the probabilities consistently in order to win more money than you lose in the markets. So actually, talking about Data Dash again, he actually drew a few levels at which he intends to scale in to Bitcoin. And he was talking about like 7,500, maybe 5,000, and he drew it. So check his video out. It was a pretty good, pretty concise analysis of what he intended to do. Was pull a bit out at 10,000, and then as it pulled back, which the chances are it will. I say chances are, right? These are all words about probability, because that's all you can go on. Probabilities. The chances are when the price overextends this much from a trend line or from its moving averages, the chances are it will pull back. And again, you can look at historical price behavior to validate that. The difference is that, you know, it depends as more. What will continue to push the price up irrationally is the number of new people hearing about Bitcoin and then putting capital in. Because as long as new capital flows into Bitcoin, it could keep going up in a straight line irrationally, right? So that's why the probabilities could break, and the most improbable thing could happen, meaning it could just keep going up in a straight line if more and more people keep coming on board. What does ATH stand for? ATH stands for all-time high. Cryptoverse. Who's Cryptoverse? Is that someone trying to hijack my name? Cryptoverse sold at $4,800. Well, I'm constantly on record. People saying I never sell, right? I did sell a little bit. I sold a little bit after the I bought in the China crash dip, I think it was, and then sold it soon after, but sold it too early. But most of my portfolio is buy and hold, and I have a couple of grand that I use for trading. Great points I was making today. Love to hear your opinion on IOTA. What point of view would you like on IOTA? Do you want it from a technical chart point of view, or do you want it on a technical level or a market level? I think IOTA is a good hedge in terms of it's different technology, isn't it? It's a fundamentally different approach to the whole idea of blockchains and how you do these cheap global transactions that are outside the banking system. So in a rounded portfolio strategy, you'd have some IOTA, just in case that technology does end up destroying blockchains in terms of its performance. However, it's so new and so experimental, I wouldn't put too much into it. What else we got? All money leaving legacy systems of cryptos will be in the trillions. Yeah, I think that's fair. Jamie Diamond, username. When do you think the pullback is coming? No idea. You can, but I do not recommend a strategy that relies on you predicting the outcome. I was only saying this to my patrons this morning in the chat group. If you're trying to predict outcomes, you've got the strategy all wrong. You need to set yourself up in a way that means you win no matter what. So hedging, that's why people say hedge and diversify. Because with a diversified strategy, you win no matter what, right? The simplest diversification strategy is have some gold and have some fiat. Because as one goes up, the other goes down. So no matter what happens, right? If there's a massive crisis of confidence in the economy, gold booms and fiat currency crashes, or vice versa. If there's hyperinflation, gold booms and fiat goes to lower value. Got that wrong way around, but you know what I mean. And in a financial crisis, gold goes down and fiat goes up, and so on. So if you have an out of balance portfolio, you may pile it all into the thing that's going up. However, that doesn't really insure you against unpredictable market movements, right? What about Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold? What about them? I need a more specific question than that. Newcomers must be put off by the $10,000 price tag and the feeling of having missed out. You could see it that way, or you could see it as all those people that looked at Bitcoin when it was like 5 grand and was like, oh, I've missed out. And now look at it today and go, oh, it's now 10 grand. I mean, how many times do you go back to it having gone up again before you go, okay, maybe I haven't missed out, you know? One thing we could probably do, excuse me, that's the problem with that, we're not being able to edit the thing, is it? Let's see, let's check the news again. See if any other articles are coming out. These are dopey headlines. Look, Bitcoin too small to threaten world economy, says the Bank of England deputy. The reason that's a head slapper is because, look at that big ad. The reason that's daft is because anything that's big enough at one point was too small, right? Something has to be small before it grows into something big. So maybe if they put yet, right? Bitcoin is too small to threaten the world economy yet. So, because this is based on a premise that Bitcoin's size is what is going to threaten the world economy. And also, what does it mean, threaten the world economy? You mean threaten the banking system? Because again, that's got an assumption built into it that Bitcoin is somehow a threat to the world economy. And that all that mental programming is in the headline. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Fears of a bubble as it passes 10 grand. Really? Well, you can't fear a bubble if you're not in it. And that's the other thing. A lot of people who are don't even own any Bitcoin are in fear of it being a bubble. It's like, what have you got to fear? You've got nothing at stake. You know what I'm saying? And even then, there's far too much focus on the price, right? I mean, I get pulled into price analysis, but oh my goodness me. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name there. What's the sudden frenzy with Dash? We got a donation there for Jeepers Creepers, man. 200 euros. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Goodness gracious me. That's a bad boy donation right there. I mean, you'd think for 200 euros I could have a couple more attempts at pronouncing your name, right? Issy. So I'll get rid of the C. It's Serapi. Serapi. Screw it. Why not just answer your question? So the question was, what's the sudden frenzy with Dash? Okay. So this is the frenzy. Boom. So when we see something like this, what on earth do we do? In order to sort of unpack this, normally we would go to CoinMarketCap, right? We'd scroll it down to the coin in question, Dash, and then we look at volume, click on volume, and then it ranks all of the different exchanges. And then if we do it by volume, which it already is ranked by volume, we see the number one exchange that's got the most volume is BitThumb. This is a Korean exchange, and there's Dash trading against the Korean currency. So you see $122 million of Dash has been traded back and forth between the South Korean currency. And that volume makes up 35, nearly 36% of all Dash trading volume in the last 24 hours. So the Korean market has a disproportionate amount of influence over the Dash price. So it looks to me like a lot of Koreans are buying Dash right now. This isn't the first time it happened. looking back at the charts here, these previous booms, this big candle here, this big candle here, here, and here, when those happened, we did the same thing. We went to CoinMarketCap, looked at the volume, and it was Korea. You know, they did a whole bunch of volume into it. The other thing that I heard was there's this thing, you may have heard of this. It's called the Palm Beach Confidential Newsletter. So Palm Beach Confidential, where's their actual website? Here we go. Palm Beach Group, Research Group. Okay, this is Google's, or DuckDuckGo is going to send us into their FAQ section. There you go, Palm Beach Research Group. So they have a subscription newsletter. There we go, Palm Beach Confidential, a $3,000 subscription newsletter. And apparently they emailed their subscribers making a recommendation that Dash was a good cryptocurrency to invest in. So that would be a second reason why new money would be flowing into Dash. You've got the Koreans, and then you've got Palm Beach Confidential. So not only would their subscribers be putting new money into Dash based on the recommendation, once a rumor got out that Palm Beach Confidential had recommended Dash to their subscribers, anyone that wasn't subscribed to it, that heard about that, would take that as influence, and then more people would pile in, just on the strength of hearing that Palm Beach Confidential recommended it to their newsletter subscribers, right? So that will be a third wave of people coming into Dash. So you can see how this works, right? It's irrational markets, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that all the price movement are based on fundamentals. Maybe Palm Beach Confidential recommended investing in Dash because of its long-term fundamental growth, but that rumor got momentum, and then of course as the price goes up, the fourth force comes in, which is the people who have fear of missing out. So as the price begins to move up, you have this fourth group of people jump on the bandwagon and start buying before it goes up even more. So that's why exponential price movement. So those would be the four major forces that I believe are acting on the Dash price and have been acting on the Dash price since back here for the last like 2 weeks, right? Volume from South Korea, recommendation from Palm Beach Confidential newsletter, the excitement beyond in the general community about Palm Beach recommending it, and then pure price speculation. As those three forces push the price up, more people jumped on the bandwagon and pushed up even further, right? So there we go. Those would be my main explanations about the sudden frenzy in Dash. There's a couple of other things. Dash have just gone through a network upgrade recently, upgraded the block size to 2 megabytes, reduced transaction fees, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, final note on Dash, at dashvotetracker.com, we'll see that in 22 hours time, we've got the next Dash budget treasury payout is going to happen. And this is the state of play. So this makes some really interesting reading this. If you want to see what is happening to boost and grow and evolve the Dash community, come here and have a read of some of these proposals. So all the ones in green are the ones that are going to pass, meaning they're going to get funded. So, you know, I mentioned the other day, the old Dash Aerosports team, it's now gone green. The other day, it was looking like it wasn't going to get funded, but now it's looking at $1 million worth of Dash to continue funding the Dash racing team. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And this one also wasn't going to get passed the other day either, the Dash documentary. That was down here. But now as we close in on the final payout, they've got enough votes to get paid. And as you can see, 82% of the whole Dash budget has been allocated for this period. So until 30 days time. So Dash is about to pay out $4 million to various contractors and so on. I find that incredibly interesting because rather than, it's a really delicate way of distributing the Dash coin, right? If you think about Bitcoin, there is kind of a class system. If you have the blockchain in the middle and you have all the miners around it, they mine the first coins. So all currency that comes into creation in the Bitcoin network it goes to the miners, right? Then they do something with it, right? So say if everyone who had ever mined Bitcoin held onto it, there would be no Bitcoin economy, right? Because all would happen is the coins would be created, the miners would get them and hold them, that's it. There would be no transactions. So the miners have to then spend them, so that's the next tier out. The miners have to spend them with someone else or sell them on an exchange, right? And that's how the coins get into circulation. Dash is different. Yes, they have mining. 45% of the block reward goes straight to miners. 45% of it goes to the master nodes to pay for their specialized services. And then 10% of it goes to the budget, what we just saw. So this month, $4 million of Dash has been carefully distributed based on human votes, right? People have put proposals in, the master nodes have read the proposals, kind of used their subjective human mind to be like, is this a good idea? Is it going to add value to the Dash network? So it's a very subjective judgment. And then they voted, yes, this person should get some new Dash, some newly created Dash next month based on what they're proposing to do, right? So it's only 10% of the total amount created, but that's going to get Dash into a much wider range of hands than just relying on mining, which is a kind of an elite class of businesses that know how to mine the stuff, right? So hopefully that was €200 worth of explanation on why the sudden Dash frenzy and some more fundamental things as well. So thank you very much, Izzy. I'll call you Izzy, beg your pardon if that's wrong, but that's what I'm going to call you. Thanks very much for that donation. That was very much appreciated. And hopefully you got your money's worth there. Nobody gives an ish about pre-mine. They don't seem to, do they? You know? Because despite the fact that people say Dash was a pre-mine and all that kind of thing, well, even if that was true, no one seems to care. Because let's assume it's true. No one cares. What else we got in the chat here? There's a few comments being held for review here. That moment you thought 8K for a masternode was quite a lot of money. Yeah, I did think that back in November of last year. I was thinking, ooh, that was only like £8,000. I was thinking, ooh, $8,000, that's a lot to put into a masternode, right? Should have done it. Should have done it. Totally should have done it. Powerledger's co-founder is an Australian politician. Yes, I've heard about that. And is that lady who's been doing some good things for Powerledger? Actually, Powerledger, they contacted me ages ago, like in August, I think it was, about an interview. And we went back and forth trying to arrange a time, and the communication just fizzled out. Like, we couldn't find a time to get the interview, and then it just didn't happen, right? And then I forgot about them. They forgot about me. Powerledger went mental, and now it's gone, sort of to the moon right after it's been listed on exchanges, right? Pretty good. Oh my God, these live streams go quick, man. 38 minutes in. I wanted to do a quick one to look at the prices. Jeepers creepers, man. Well, I mean, Izzy made it worth my while, didn't he? He, she, beg pardon. Not quite sure of the gender there. Izzy, could be a lady, couldn't it? Dr. Gemma Green. I'm just having a look at the charts here to see what else has happened since we last looked. The prices are still sort of sitting around where they were. Bitcoin was the really craziest one, 11,000 and holding. Watch the volume. Definitely watch the volume. Icon, ICX. I was speaking to them the other day about doing an interview because they said, are you aware of our project? I said, yes, I've done videos on it before. Do you support Dogecoin hard fork? I honestly didn't know there was one. I don't follow the Dogecoin community very closely, to be perfectly honest. Well, kind of running out of steam a bit here. So I'm going to give you fair warning that I'm going to wind it down shortly. I'm going to give you a bit of notice, though, so you can grieve a little bit. I'm No idea what time it is everywhere else in the world. But there we go. I tell you what else I could do in the last few minutes is I could look at my news scanner in the crypto space. One place to check is Reddit. Most of the posts are still talking about 10,000. Like this one here, it's official, $10,000 Bitcoin. There's my video from today, 11,000. It was about 10,800 when I posted that. So I figured that was fine. Ethereum blockchain will not exceed 1 terabyte anytime soon. Oh my god, all-time high, dash $700. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's the other thing. When you see this, they're unrealized gains though, aren't they? So unless you spend the increased purchasing power of the Dash and so on, or you spend the increased purchasing power of Bitcoin, it's a paper gain, isn't it? You know what I mean? Someone just talked about the Bitcoin mempool there. Let's see what... Typically when the Bitcoin price moons like this, you see a lot of people rushing to the exchanges with their transactions and so on. So here, look, we've got nearly 100 megabytes of transactions, you know, trying to get confirmed right now. But that's people pulling Bitcoin out of their hardware wallets and sending this to exchanges to try and take some profit, right? So people who are not active traders might be trying to take profit here and booming the mempool. Having said that, the mempool has been quite full for like the last couple of weeks, so that's not unusual. But where I was getting to for the last segment of this live stream was to look at my crypto news scanner, which just basically crawls all of the major news outlets like the Cointelegraph, CoinJournal, Bitcoinist.com, BTC Manager, the Merkle, Bitcoin News, CoinDesk, you know, all these folks. And I pull in some zero hedge stuff at the same time. Who else we got? All Coins News, Bitcoin Magazine, there's a whole bunch of them. Coin Report, CoinJournal, the Ethereum blog, Coinbase blog, you get the idea. So it just trawls them all. What we got here? Let's see. The little engine that could. LiteCoin breaks $100, outperforming Bitcoin in 2017. Is that right? Okay, maybe. It must be true. The House of Lords recommends exploration of blockchain technology to the British government. Yippee. So long 10K. Bitcoin price unstoppable as 11,000 becomes new benchmark. That's a headline out of the Cointelegraph. How to buy Bitcoin when you're underage. By Bitcoin News. Oh my goodness me. The Merkle says the Bitcoin price shows no sign of slowing as 11,000 is within reach. CoinDesk says overstretched, ? Bitcoin price on shaky ground after 1,000% gain. New Zealand watchdog warns investors over marketplace ICOs. US dollar crashes against Bitcoin to record low. That's another way of putting it, isn't it? And it was what I was talking about earlier on. Like if you see 0x coin going down, it could be Ethereum going up. So this, you could flip the chart over and it could be, instead of BTC USD, it could be USD BTC. Meaning if the value of the dollar is tumbling, it might look like that, right? Because it's the value of the dollar in relation to Bitcoin, which is also why you can value assets in different things. So for example, how many barrels of oil can you buy with a Bitcoin? How many bars of gold can you buy with a Bitcoin? How many Bitcoins does it take to buy the average house in your country? You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to have to reinvent the unit of account. And I read something the other day about we may have to start using several units of account. So we might have to price the value we hold in a fiat currency, in a cryptocurrency, and in gold to kind of get an overall basket valuation of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there is no one unit of account anymore as we go into this world of tokenization, you know, massive tokenization of everything. What else we got? Social media.market to launch innovative Ethereum platform. That's a rival, I believe, for Indahash. In fact, speaking of Indahash, they're their ICO, their main ICO, should be going live about now. Oh, goodness me. Check this out. This is the IndaHash website right now. I think it may have fallen over. Yep. Wow. I mean, is it really not working because people are mashing it? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? It just occurred to me that it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which when the IndaHash main ICO is supposed to go live. Nope. Nope. Okay, that's the main website. But I wanted to see the ICO page. Oh no, it's not working. It's just so not working. Oh my goodness me. It straight away rejects me as well. It doesn't even try and load it. Interesting. Let me just do a trace through here. Oh, okay. It says it can't even resolve the URL. What the hell? What the hell is going on there? Let's check my email, because they should have sent out an email saying the ICO is live. There we go. Nope, that says 2 hours to go. And they still give the same link, indahash.com/ICO. But you click it and just doesn't work. How interesting. How interesting. EOS, what are you all talking about? No idea what you're talking about. Let me just have another quick look at the headlines here. Oh, I'm now back to some headlines that I've already read. South Korea outlines proposed legislation for cryptocurrency exchanges. Really? Okay. Novogratz sets next target price for Bitcoin at $40,000. Oh, really? What's the gist of that article then? Who the Novogratz? On the 21st of November 2017, Novogratz predicted that Bitcoin's value would be higher than an ounce of gold. On the 21st of November 2017. This is Michael Novogratz. Well, Bitcoin's value would be higher than an ounce of gold. Yeah, but it already was by the 21st of November. And the Bitcoin could reach $10,000 per coin by the end of December. Well, that article's out of date. Definitely out of date. Also, Bitcoin can multiply by more than 4 times in roughly the next 13 months. Meaning by the end of 2018, Bitcoin could be $40,000 easily. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Jet Blake just got one of his comments held for moderation there because he put his email address in the message, so that's not good. Yeah, you guys are getting a HTTP 500 error as well. I bet Barbara's freaking. Let me try without my VPN on. So, put me on here. So I'll use my phone, but I'll turn off the old VPN. And then I'll go over to IndaHash on here. See if it works. Infohash. indahash.com/ICO. And I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the VPN that's bugging it out, to be honest. I think it's just the fact that they've got like mad traffic It's not loading. It's trying. What was unique about that is that they managed to get some influencers in multiple languages, which is kind of interesting. Oh, it's not an email address. All right, fine then. It's not, is it? It's jetblake@steemit.com. I see what you mean. Hey, Steve K. Is that Steve? Which Steve K is that? I can't interrogate anybody. I can't interrogate anybody's profile. No. Okay. In hash, not happening. Mike Novogratz bought the recent dip and is up 100% in 2 weeks. What dip was that then? I didn't see no dip. Unless it was that one. Yeah, 12. Well, you would be up 100%, wouldn't you? Even if you bought there. Yeah, you would be up 100% because nearly $12,000. So there we go. All right. Fine. That's 50 minutes. That's long enough. For an impromptu live stream. It was in the middle of my work day. I was working on the trading course. And then price went mental. So that's an hour of my day that I didn't plan to put into a live stream. But there we go. There it is. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. If you like this live stream, hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button. And as ever, if you would like to stop searching and actually start learning some stuff about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, then check out my website, which is cryptoversity.com. Click on the courses section, and then you'll be able to be taken by me step by step through a process of knowing nothing about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains to knowing a lot about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. And all of those courses are made by my good self. So that is all for today, guys. I will be back tomorrow. Will I be back tomorrow? Yes, it's Wednesday. Of course I will. Didn't know what day it was. I will be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.